Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Sam Otwell.
Mr. Otwell, you're here in case 2021 MM6965AO on a charge of battery dating violence. I did review the charging affidavit in your case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. And good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Scott Zwerner.
And can you spell your last name for me?
Z like zebra, Werner.
And can you raise your right hand and be sworn in?
Yes, sir.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you put your hand down, sir. Can you tell me how you know Mr. Otwell?
He's a friend of mine. We've been dating for almost 4 months now.
All right.
4 or 5 months, maybe.
And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Has there been previous instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
Not at all. No cases, no incidents, nothing at all.
And well, I can tell, like, did drugs and alcohol play a role in this incident?
He had an emotional day at a Disney park today by seeing a plaque from his family who he's no longer in contact with. Made him emotional, and he had a beer afterwards. He does not have any type of substance abuse or alcohol problem at all. I think it was just a long, tiring day, and we had a little misunderstanding / argument that revolved around old friend sending me a text message to say hi. But I really do believe this was a full isolated incident.
All right. State, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. Davis, I see you. All right. And Mr. Otwell, do you plan to go back to Georgia, or do you plan to stay here?
Go back to Georgia.
All right. All right, Mr. Otwell, in this case, I'm going to set your bond in an amount of $250. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. The first thing, I'm going to allow you to return to Georgia as a condition of your pretrial release. In order that you have no hostile contact with the victim in this case. No hostile contact means this. You're allowed to have disagreements with your boyfriend. Things happen in an intimate relationship between people that cause conflict. However, those disagreements cannot turn violent. It cannot be threatening. There can be no abusive language used. Because no matter what he calls law enforcement, or somebody that sees or hears you all arguing calls law enforcement, you will be arrested. They'll put you on a bus from Georgia. You'll stop at many county jails on the way back to Orlando on a no bond status warrant that I'm going to issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Counsel, is there anything else you wanted me to cover before moving on from your client?
No, I appreciate that, Your
No,
Honor.
sorry, I got the attorney.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were
I got attorney.
you were looking down.
I'm looking down because I have
Yeah.
a screen in front of me, and counsel's so
I'm sorry.
counsel can
Yes.
have a TV above me, so the counsel, so his client can see him. He can see his client, but
Oh yeah, I can't see anything. So, so myself, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. No objections. I would just ask the court if you would consider an ROR bond on this. I mean, to my knowledge, that he does not have any prior history. There's no risk or flight, anything to go with that. But if not, it's okay. No objection to the $250 bond.
I think that 907.041 tells me that for dangerous crimes, he's not entitled to a non-monetary release. So,
Yes, Your Honor.
that's the reason I didn't.
Okay,
I didn't say an exorbitantly high bond, but I said something. And he also
yes, Your Honor,
received my
of course.
pretrial release as well. All right. Does anyone have anything else for Mr. Otwell?
Nothing.
No, Your Honor.
All right. All right. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You are the only participant.
All right. Let's go to Spanish.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Alan Figueroa, a certified Spanish language interpreter.
Good morning, Mr. Figueroa. This is Judge Bain calling from the BRC. I have a few defendants I need your assistance with this morning. The list. Okay. 2. Okay, so this is the second one? Or
Sí.
or this one? Okay,
The defendant can hear me, Your Honor.
all right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Lisandro Aguilar.
Lisandro Aguilar.
Mr. Aguilar, you're here in case 2021 MM 6966 AO on charge of battery domestic violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in your case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case amount of $250. It's going to cover pretrial release supervision. You have no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at a shared residence. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Do you have any questions about the stipulations in your no contact order, sir?
Nada más puedo proveer mi propio abogado.
Would I be able to get my own attorney?
Yes, if you would like. There's an option. You always have a choice in your representation, as long as you're not using it to impede the process.
Your Honor, there is also an allegation of alcohol use within the affidavit and DCF being called, so state would ask for the conditions of no alcohol.
I thought it was, but I didn't. I was trying to look for it.
There was, Your Honor.
Mr. Aguilar, I want to make a condition that you also not possess or consuming drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing while you're out on pretrial release in this case. You have a great day, sir.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Say this be doing stuff all up on the bench. All right. Thank you, Mr. Ferrer. I think that's all we have for a moment. I have to call you back in a little bit, okay?
Not a problem, Your Honor. Thank you.
Yeah. No. Actually, does anybody know if anybody in the audience needs a Spanish interpreter? No, okay. All right. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Orlando Candelaria. Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you're here in case 2021 CF 12969 AO. We were here yesterday afternoon on charges of burglary of an occupied structure, grand theft, and dealing in stolen property. I didn't find probable cause for the count 3 of the charging affidavit.
You mean you found probable cause for 1 and 2?
Yep, I did. So I did not find probable cause for count
Okay,
3.
sorry.
So, as a state of Florida, they have any supplemental information they want to provide to the court
No, Your Honor.
as to count 3.
I was not able to obtain another affidavit, so state would just ask that you ROR on this account.
So it's going to learn, it's a count 3, the court's going to release you on your own recognizance. All your remaining bonds and conditions remain as set. You have a great day, sir.
I have a question.
Just a moment, Your Honor.
Right.
I believe he was arrested, I don't know. What day were you arrested, Jonathan? Saturday night. Okay, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 6 days. 6 days, Your Honor. Originally, it was a notice to appear.
Your Honor, if my client informed me that their employment is with a temp agency that has provides services at the convention center, would the no return order, could that be amended to just include?
Well, it looks like he's
Non-work
trespassed from
purposes.
that area, so I'm not sure if you,
So do not return to my job, like, in other words, quit the convention center.
if I remember correctly from reading the case yesterday, it looks like you have been previously trespassed from that
Right,
location.
but
So if you, I'm just, this is a
Right.
general idea.
Right.
Unless that, the convention center or whoever is authorized from them to not, to
Right,
remove
the
that trespass
officer
order.
said I would have, I'm sorry, the officer said I would have to speak to the highest person there to
Correct.
come back. I was unaware that it was a permanent trespass. I thought it was 2 years or 1 year. That's why I went back.
Not sure. I mean, I think
But I
some
won't go-
agencies.
I'm just making it clear to the courts that I'm not going back. I'm quitting. I don't
Yeah.
want to go back.
I mean, I would, if you can resolve the issue that you have with the property owner at the convention center, then you can go back to work.
Okay.
If you can't resolve the issue, then we can't go back to work.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you have a great day. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Good morning, Judge. My name is Denario Bennett.
Mr. Bennett, you're here in case 2021 CF 13000AO on charge of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. They reviewed the charging affidavit in your case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $2,500. Condition of your bond is that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You're going to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to your shared residence to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Do you have any questions about the stipulations on your no contact order, sir?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Now, my orders do apply in Georgia. So if you plan to return to Georgia, don't violate my orders because they're going to arrest you, send you back on the bus to Florida. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a great day. No, he's on pretrial release. Pretrial release has a stipulation that you have to remain in Florida.
Yeah, we no longer have those stipulations.
Okay, well, isn't that stipulation done? We don't have to worry about that stipulation anymore. I thought it was gonna be an amendment. I didn't know if it ever actually went through or yet. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Ali Felton.
Mr. Felton, you're here in case 2021 CF 13009AO. In charge of aggravated battery on a pregnant person, domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in your case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case amount of $8,000. Condition of your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Do you have any questions about the stipulations on your no contact order?
I have no questions about the stipulations, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you so much. I'm literally walking into Bartow's courthouse right now, so I really appreciate everybody. Thank you, Judge Block. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Have a good day, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
James Edward Bennett Jr.
Mr. Bennett, you're here in case 2021 MM 6436 AO on a charge of criminal mischief and assault domestic violence. This is Mr. Bennett, correct?
Yes.
All right. Court did find probable cause for your arrest as to those charges. Sorry, the judge issued a warrant and found probable cause for your arrest as to those charges. Let me see I forgot what they set your bond at in count one. I'm gonna say your bond in count one amount of $500, count two $500. Condition on your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll strike the no return to the residence portion because I want to give him a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items he has at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to return to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Also, no contact with any witnesses. I'm going to talk to Mr. Brands because I just appointed him to represent you. Because anything you ask me is on the record. Looks like you have a question.
Yeah, we don't live together.
All right.
What was the
I got my
bond?
own place.
I don't know if you have a toothbrush there, some personal items that you want to pick up, work clothes. So I'm giving you the option to go back with law enforcement. Now, if you go back for any other reason without law enforcement, you're going to be arrested.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to see you relatively quickly.
What was the bond amount again, Your Honor? I'm sorry.
It's 500 on count one, 500 on count two.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name? The Cameron, you here in case 2021 MM 6963AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case amount $250. Condition of your bond is you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release.
And that was just 250 straight bond?
No, I said with pretrial release.
Oh, okay.
I thought I said that. I didn't? I'm sorry. $250 bond with pretrial release. I apologize. All right, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're also not allowed to possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. See, are you requesting randoms?
Yes, Your Honor.
You'll also be you're also subject to random drug and alcohol testing while you're out on pretrial release in this case. You have a great day, sir. I'm sorry, you have any questions about your no contact order? All right, you have a great day. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Matthew Cummings.
Mr. Cummings, you're here in case 2021 MM 233AE on charge of battery, domestic violence, and resisting officer without violence.
Your Honor,
Yep.
can I be heard on a probable cause determination?
As to which charge, or both?
As to both.
Yeah, go ahead.
The arrest affidavit's pretty lean on facts. There's no witness statement. The officer didn't witness a strike. He just wrote that he was arrested for this charge because they actually intentionally struck arms and knee of the victim, but there's no statement from the victim in the arrest affidavit. Also, as to the resisting officer without violence, it says they obstructed law enforcement from placing both of his arms behind his back while deputies attempted to secure him in handcuffs, but there are no facts as to what the obstruction was. Was there lawful commands, denial of those lawful commands, nothing like that. It was just very, there weren't enough specific facts for me to find PC on both charges.
All right. I tend to agree you as to count two, but State, what do you have to say as to those arguments?
Your Honor, as to count one, for a battery, state just has to prove that he touched her against her will. In this case, we do have a short line
Right,
saying
ma'am.
he struck her arm, right arm, left arm, and left knee against her will.
No,
So I
keep your
believe-
mask on, but you gotta look at me.
On or off?
Yeah, ma'am.
Sorry.
Put your mask on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, put your mask on.
Yes, sir.
Cover your face.
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, but keep looking at me because I don't want you to get in trouble by getting your Mr. Cummings in trouble. So I just want to make sure you're keeping your eyes.
I was
focused on me.
listening to the attorney. I
Yeah.
apologize.
I know, I apologize. It's an unnatural thing, but I want you to try to keep your eyes up here so make sure Mr. Cummings stays out of trouble. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Go ahead, Sarcy.
No, it's okay, Your Honor. Regarding a battery, state just has to prove that he actually intentionally touched her against her will. In this case, we do have that he struck her right arm, left arm, and her knee against her will. Therefore, I think even though the facts are light, there is enough PC for the DV battery. And in regards to the resisting officer without violence, state just has to prove that the officer was in the legal authority to execute process, and he was in the execution of legal duty. In this case, it was to arrest him due to the battery that PC was found for before. In this case, it looks like he would not place both of his arms behind his back. So even though, again, the facts are light, state would contend that there is PC for both charges. If not, state would ask for 24 hours on the second, on the resisting.
I can give you the 24 hours. I mean, I'm still going to set a bond that's the resisting.
That's fine.
To give Mr. Cummings an option. But yeah, he just missed a small part that he told him to put his hands behind his back.
Understood.
And then he, didn't do it kind of thing.
Understood.
And it's unlikely that he was trying to cuff him in the front, but, that's something I'm not going to read into the affidavit, but as to count one, the court's going to find probable cause for the charge of battery, domestic violence. I'm not going to find probable cause as to count two. I'm going to get a state 24 hours to supplement the affidavit in this case. All right. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
My name is Kimberly Clark, C-L-A-R-K.
And Ms. Clark, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in?
Yes,
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes, sir.
Or you can put
Yes,
your hand
Honor.
down, ma'am. Can you tell me how you know Mr. Cummings?
He's my significant other.
All right. And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Yes, please. He's my medical surrogate.
Okay. Has there been previous instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
No, sir.
So you were not the victim of this prior domestic battery from February this year?
February, we did have a contact situation. Yes, sir. The case was dropped, Your Honor.
Yeah, that wasn't my question. My question was, have you had a prior domestic violence incident
I
prior to
apologize.
this?
Yes, sir. We had one.
All right. And did
The case was dropped.
did drugs and alcohol play a role in this incident?
Yes, sir.
All right. And State, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Brantz?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Cummings, in this case, 2021 MM233 AE, we're going to set your bond in count one in an amount of $1,000, count two, $100. Still going to give you to the state 24 hours for release, but if you bond out, it's going to become a moot issue as to count two for not finding probable cause. You're going to be subject to pretrial release supervision in this case. Conditions of your pretrial release supervision. Does anybody want to advocate for anything other than no contact out here?
Sir,
Talk to the state of Florida and to your now one-appointed public defender represents you, Mr. Brantz.
No, Your Honor, state would only advocate for no contact due to the prior case.
So even with witness testimony, Your Honor, you're still ordering no contact?
Now, I was going to ask, do you want to advocate for anything other than no contact?
I need contact with Mr. Cummings.
Based on witness
I was
testimony?
going to give you my thoughts, Mr. Brantz. My thoughts are that there was a previous incident from, not even 9 months ago. It was 8 months ago, apologize. There's going to be a substance abuse issue going on. That's an ongoing situation that has been resolved in between those times and today's date. So I have concerns as to Mr. Cummings' ability to deal with Ms. Clark, his patience when using substance abuse and other substances.
I believe with a peaceful contact order as well as combined with the pretrial release conditions, I feel the substance abuse should be readily dealt with through pretrial services, allow the two parties to, whatever medical surrogacy is required to allow them to continue that relationship.
All right.
Your Honor, state's concern is that other case, it seems all facts are fairly similar. It is alleged that he hit her with both hands, open palms on the chest, causing her to fall to the floor and hit her head. The victim then stated that she grabbed a pair of scissors to defend herself. And law enforcement had trouble with the defendant on scene being uncooperative and disrespectful. So given the length and time, and given that the victim felt the need to grab scissors to defend herself, they would ask for no contact at this time, which could be amended at a later time.
All right, Mr. Cummings, at this time, I'm going to order that you have no contact with the victim in this case. I'm going to give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. Do not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release, or that you maintain a separate residence, or that you not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol while you're on release in this case. You're going to be subject yourself to random drug and alcohol testing while you're on release. Now, my orders can be modified by Judge Wayne Shoemaker, who's the division judge in this case. But the short period of time in between these instances seems to be a concern to me that we haven't made any progress in our relationship here.
Your Honor, I
Yes,
have
ma'am.
no place to reside, and Mr. Cummings and I reside together.
That's fine. He can't go home. You can stay where you are. I'm not removing you from the home right now.
No, but Your Honor, I need him to help me with my medication. I'm trying to be respectful here.
No, I understand. I completely understand.
But I need him to help me, and his mother and I have been in contact, and she will help me as well.
Yep. So Mr. Cummings' mother can assist you for the moment while we are in this little zone, and we can get you in front of Judge Wayne Shoemaker. And when he feels more appropriate if he feels more appropriate that contact is appropriate, then
Okay, is
we'll
his
do that.
bond $1,100?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so do I just get that and get him out of jail? But you're saying I have a no contact order with him?
He has no contact with you. So I only have jurisdiction over Mr. Cummings. I don't have jurisdiction over anybody else.
I'm just trying to respect you, Your Honor.
That's fine. Well, I'm just letting you know right now, that's what's going to happen. You always those things can be changed, like I said, by Judge Wayne Shoemaker.
I
who's the
need to
division
have
judge.
contact with him.
Okay.
Your Honor, my mother is in the hospital with COVID. I can't take care of myself.
Right.
So, can you please change that order?
No, ma'am,
Your
not right
Honor.
now. Now, if you need some other assistance, we need to seek that help. If you are feeling that you are unable to take care of yourself, there's some other court proceedings and other departments that run by the state that can help you do that. All right, you have a great day, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Aldrin Gala.
Mr. Gailey, here in case 2021 MM658AW on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. One second here.
Your Honor, I don't believe there is a written history. However, there is allegedly a history within the affidavit,
Yeah, that's
according to
what I was
both the DCF investigator and the victim.
reminding myself of. All right, sir, we're going to set your bond in this case about $500. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You have no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're not allowed, may not possess any drugs, alcohol while you're on pretrial release in this case. You have any questions about the stipulations in your no contact order?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
About the no contact order, not about the case.
Yes, about the no contact. I didn't do anything.
Okay. Is this an Orange County probation? As long as I can. All right, good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Good morning, sir. Jabrittany Jackson is my name.
Ms. Jackson, you're here in case 2021 MM 6960AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in your case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this case amount of $1,500. Condition of your bond is that you have no contact with the victim in this case. That you maintain a separate residence from this victim.
Yes, sir.
I give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you.
It is, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you seem to be on supervision by the Department of Corrections on probation in Orange County case 2019 CF 11807. Court find a probable cause that you commit a new law offense. It's going to find an on-view violation of your probation. Going to set your bond at no bond in that case.
Sir, I did not
Want to appoint the public
violate. I have
defender?
a 5-month-old baby.
Want to appoint the public defender to represent you?
I
You have a great day,
called the
ma'am.
police, sir. Sir, I called the police, sir. I cannot. I have a 5-month-old baby. I did not violate.
Okay.
I called the police.
Have a great day, ma'am.
So I don't have a bond?
Not that's your violation of probation, no.
So how can I get some information on what to do about this? Because
You
I
have
did
an
not
attorney?
violate.
You have an attorney, you'll probably be seen by Judge Lattimore next week. You have a great day.
Sir, I did not violate my probation. I
Ma'am.
called the police, sir.
Have a great day. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
John Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you're here in case 2021 MM 6964AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in your case. Did find probable cause for your arrest.
I was trying to get my girlfriend out of the bathroom because I thought she was ODing in a
Hold on.
7-Eleven. I didn't do anything, so it doesn't matter. The arrest thinks I have a record. That's what they want to arrest.
All right, so we're going to set your bond in this case amount of $1,500. Condition your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case, that you maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have in the location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing while he's on release in this case. Want to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Johnson. Yes, ma'am. No. We're rolling. If he decides not to show, not to, voluntarily not,
We'll waive the rest of his appearance if necessary.
he said he was ready to go, so. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Jesse A. Miranda.
Mr. Miranda, you're here in case 2021 MM 6950AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in your case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $250. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You to have no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm also going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Do you have any questions about the stipulations or your no contact order, sir?
No.
All right, you have a great day. Then he's wanting people to stay here and listen to him. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Geraldo Nieves.
Mr. Nieves, you're here in case 2021 MM 6949 AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Can somebody tell me this prior DV case is involving the same victim?
I don't see it within Orange County. One second, Your Honor. It looks like it was from 2017 from Seminole. It was. No information was filed. The alleged victim in that case was Sandra Nieves.
All right, sir, we're going to set your bond in this case amount of $500. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You have no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint this public defender to represent you in this case. You have any questions about the stipulations or your no contact order? All right, you have a great day, man. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Julian Alexander Reyna.
So you're here in case 2021 MM 6957 AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Carlos Reyna, Reyna.
All right, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sir, yes, sir.
All right, you put your hand down. Can you tell me how you know Mr. Reyna?
I'm sorry, sir?
Can you tell me how you know Mr. Reyna? This Mr. Reyna.
This is my son.
And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
That would be fine.
All right. Has there been previous instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
Yes.
When was most recent one prior to this incident?
I believe correctly it was January 17th.
And I believe in this case, did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
Didn't play a role, but that's the call I made.
All right.
As a parent.
All right. State, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Brands?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right. Does anybody want to advocate for anything other than no contact?
Your Honor, state would just ask for no contact at this time, given it's alleged in the affidavit that it's been a difficult relationship over the past several months, a cooling off period, maybe in both the victim and the defendant's best interest. Also given that there have been prior incidences, one that the victim recalled back in January where his son allegedly headbutted him. So state would just ask for no contact at this time, which it could be changed at a later date by another judge.
Your Honor, the victim is here testifying under oath that they would prefer contact, and as to the incidents in the past, there's no history of arrest on that. peaceful contact coupled with the pretrial release.
Oh, well, you may want to talk to your client to see if he can be peaceful with his dad, because he lives with you, right?
Sir, yes, sir. And
Is your house?
yes, sir. And mom and,
Does he pay
and my
rent?
parents have come up with solutions to see if
Wait,
court
is
wants
he
to
paying
hear.
rent to you?
I'm sorry, sir?
Does he pay rent to you?
No, sir, not at all. It's my son.
What does that mean? He's an adult. He's 19 years old.
Yes, sir. But that's what parents do in a Spanish family. I mean, I do want the best for him. That's why I was asking for leniency and maybe hear my suggestions.
All right.
Your Honor, the other case was documented. It came as a non-arrest case that the victim was unwilling to prosecute.
Am I able to make one suggestion that the family talked about? As a veteran, I'm asking, please.
I'm gonna make this suggestion. You know, Mr. Brands, you may want to talk to your client. At one point, the public defender represent Mr. Reyna. Make a condition of his pretrial release that he work full-time and go to school full-time. Because he's working part-time in Tijuana Flats, so at least that's what his report said. No, sorry, Ed.
BP conveyors.
BP Governor Services. He's going to find another job to take up his time. And I was he's an adult. You should pay some rent to your dad. Put in what goes on in your household. Stop being a consumer and start being a producer. All right, go ahead, sir.
So we are willing to give him 30 days to refinance his vehicle. That way I'm off that lease. Get his own phone and car insurance. And we mandate or hope and pray that he takes this as a eye-opener. Anger management class, psychic eval.
Those are all things that gonna happen as a result of a possible resolution between the state of Florida and your son.
Understood.
My concern is what I'm gonna do take up his time while he's on release in this case.
My client's informed me that he is looking for full-time work as well as student housing. He is a part-time student as well, so he's looking for a student subsidized, I guess, school subsidized apartment. So
And where he says he's going to Valencia where?
Winter Park campus as well as online.
All right. Mr. Rand, case 2021 MM 6957AO, going to set your bond amount $250. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You had no hostile contact with your father. No hostile contact means this. You are a young adult, and usually in this age range, you feel that you know a lot of things that your dad doesn't know. But those things sometimes cause conflict. But those relationships, those arguments or disagreements that you have with your fathers and his advice to you as a young adult cannot turn violent. They cannot be threatening. There can be no abusive language used. No matter whether he calls law enforcement or somebody that sees or hears you all arguing calls law enforcement, you're going to be arrested. You're going to spend a lot of time here with me in Orange County Jail on no bond status for violating my court orders. You understand?
Sure.
You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You also may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol while you're out on release in this case. You're subject to random drug and alcohol testing while you're on pretrial release in this case. I'll make a condition that you seek full-time employment within the first 30 days of your pretrial release, or you become a full-time student within the first 30 days of your pretrial release.
Question, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Does drugs and alcohol pertain to illicit substances or prescribed substances? Which is that referring to?
You have a prescription. I said you may not possess any drugs or alcohol. You have a prescription
just in terms
for
of medical marijuana, for example.
that requires supervision by a doctor and distributing by a licensed dispensary, not from your local drug dealer or your homie or friend that has nickel bags or dime bags or ounces to give you. If it's not inside a medical tube where it has your name, prescription on it, and amount of doses you're supposed to be taking from time to time, then you're not allowed to use it.
All right.
If you get caught using that,
It is my understanding that it was ran through dispatch and his medical marijuana card expired in June of 2021.
that's my point. So you need
It's
to seek
updated
medical.
on the OMMU as of late.
Yeah, if you need to seek medical, you need to be under supervision of a doctor if you want to be using medical marijuana. So got to find one of the many doctors that, that practice in that area.
May I ask and add to that to for the clarification?
Yes, sir.
So can we explain to the young man that medical marijuana is not a free card so I can buy marijuana? That it needs to be prescribed for a certain.
Yeah, that's my point. So my point is that if you get caught with a dime bag, I'm going to say you're going to get arrested. Because though it's not in the process proper package by the state of Florida that you be in possession of. So that's the risk you're going to run. But don't violate my orders because, not going to like the result. All right. Have a great day.
Mom loves you. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Good morning, Jacquees Robbins.
Robbins, you're here in case 2021 MM6943AO on charge of battery, dating, violence. Did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Gonna set your bond in this case amount $250. It's gonna cover pretrial release supervision. You to have no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you may have at a shared residence. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Weapons or firearms you have need to be determined by law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. We want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Do you have any questions about the stipulations on your no contact order? All right. You have a great day, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Ronell Ross.
All right. Mr. Ross, you're here in case 2021 MM6944AO on charge of battery, dating, violence. Did review the charging affidavit in your case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case amount $250. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You have no, wait. He doesn't qualify as arrest, I'm sorry. Wait, apologize.
Aaron, he has a fairly lengthy out.
Yeah, I see that. I think it all really results out of one. Looks like one real incident. He was a much younger man than now. All right, so I'm gonna set your bond in this case, about $1,000, condition your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case, maintain a separate residence from this victim, give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Weapons or firearms you have need to be determined by law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Mr. Ross, you were, like I said, you were a younger man at the time you went to prison. You seem to have been out without any incidents since then. You got to clean this up, all right? You have a great day, sir.
for probation and enter a no contest plea to the new law violation in case 21 CF 6690 with the agreed upon disposition with the state of Florida that she receive a withhold of adjudication. She receives 90 days in the Orange County Jail from the date of the plea. She gives up previous credit for time served with the exception of that she'll get 7 days.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you tell me your name? Sorry, good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name? Ms. Webster, you're here in case 2021 MM 6959 AO on charge of battery, domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case amount of $1,000. Going to come with pretrial release supervision. You'd have no contact with the victim in this case. You're going to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Give me 1 second here.
At this time, in case number 2019 CF 15041, we prepare to enter a plea of no contest to the charge of burglary of a conveyance in Burglary County, battery in first degree misdemeanor, and criminal mischief in second degree misdemeanor.
I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Yes, Narcisse Ambrose Jr.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 715 on a Pasco County warrant. Judge in Pasco County set your bond in count 1 and count 2 is the same, $1,013. Bonds remain as set. We're going to appoint a public defender to represent you. So you can bond out or you can wait to be sent to Pasco County.
Admission of violation in that case. So
it should just be an admission of violation in that case. And then the plea form is in 216690.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
David Blair.
Mr. Blair, you're here in 2014 MM 87 warrant case from Jefferson County for failure to appear. Bond is set at no bond. The bonds were made at no bond until we get you over to Jefferson County. We're going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir.
I don't understand the failure to appear. I didn't have a court date. There was an unpaid fine.
I don't know. Let's look. I'll look at it again. I thought it said failure to appear. I could be wrong. Hold on. 1 second. Yeah, it said failure to appear. No bond status. You gotta take it up with Jefferson County.
Are they coming to get me or what?
They should be coming to get you. Someone's who needs 72 business hours. They should be coming to get you.
I'm wondering if that was, because I have what's titled post-plea, well, I have a post-plea contract for 6690, but I do not have a plea form for 6690. I received the plea form for 15041 and an admission of violation for 15041. So does anybody have a plea form for 6690? Judge, I'm checking the file to bring you the correct stuff.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name? Your name?
Stark. Willie Stark.
All right, Mrs. Starks, you're here in case 2021 CT 698 from warrant from Columbia County. Bond is $1,000. The bond's going to be made at $1,000. We're going to appoint the public defender to represent you to get you over to Columbia County, or you can bond out. You have a great day, sir.
Yes, I would like to bond out quick. I got my check today, but I can't bond out till I go home and get my wallet and I go to ATM machine.
Okay, bond's $1,000, so you can work with a bondsman, pay the whole $1,000 is up to you. All All right, have a great day.
Signed by all the, exactly, signed by all the parties. The only thing we need to do is formally amend to add the 7 days.
All right. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you tell me your name? Sorry, good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name? Ma'am, we here. Is this a writ case? Let's look for this. I thought we weren't seeing these here.
To my understanding, writs in Orange County are not seen in IAs. They go to courtroom 3, but if it's an out-of-county warrant,
It's- Okay.
well, that, you know, that ain't me.
Yeah,
That ain't in my records. I don't know.
All right, ma'am, you have a writ of a body attachment from, looks like from Flagler County. There's a purge amount of like $1,598. You should have a hearing here soon or be sent over to Flagler County. All right, you have a great day. It is. Yeah, I mean, it's the $70, but I think the $70 is that's a extradition fee, isn't it? Or, I have no idea what that is, that's what I'm like, I'm not. It may be an extra $70 fee, ma'am, I don't know. Yeah.
Did she come back?
Flagler County has some kind of $70 sheriff's fee, I don't know what that's about. The actual purge amount on your bond, on your warrant is $1,598. And I'm not sure the sheriff's office charges some fee for extradition and/or, I'm not sure what the sheriff's fees for is about, but.
Is she able to pay it in this county, or does she have to go
You
to
should be
Flagler?
able to pay it and to the, so, because it's just for the writ. It's a purge amount, so it's not like a warrant. All right. All right. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Marsha Brooks.
Ms. Brooks, you're here in case 2021 CF 370 for violation of probation. Bond is no bond in that case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You have a great day, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Jada Reddick.
Ms. Reddick, you're here in case 2021 MM 6AE for failure to appear. Bond in that case is $2,000. You also have a violation of probation 2018 CF 6275. Judge LeBlanc gave you bonds in count 1 and 2, the amount of $2,500 on each count. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in case you're not already represented. You have a great day, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name? Mr. Stone, you're here in case 2020 CF 747 AO for violation of probation. Bond is no bond in that case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in that matter. You have a great day, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Armando Vela.
Mr. Vela, you're here in two matters. The first one, 2021 CF 3830 AO. Another one, 2021 CF 6726 AO. Both for violations of probation. Bond in both cases is $0. The bond is going to remain at $0. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in those cases. You have a great day, sir.
So no new charges on this VOP?
I didn't read the complete VOP affidavit, so
He's just arrested on the VOPs.
yeah. It looks like he's arrested on some violations right now.
You don't have a court date?
Probably next Monday, Tuesday, something like that.
Thank you.
All right, questions for everybody? Running like a 15-minute comfort break, 10:30. What was it? 1-1? Yeah.
Sign? No, don't sign yet.
Mr. Brands, that's the case, the 2021 CF, that's the case we're referring to, that we're talking about? The first degree murder case?
Yes.
Okay.
12804.
All right.
I was here when that case was on IA. Is there anything I can help with?
Yeah, Judge Gibson told me about the situation that the defendant
He didn't
tried
know
to use a
sign.
sign language interpreter. That didn't work. Then we had the situation we had to pass notes to the defendant because he didn't use American Sign Language.
Yes.
As his main, the standard American Sign Language is part of his interpretation. So, yeah, okay.
You couldn't, we tried to use the amplifier things, those didn't work. I think Ms. George tried to lip sync to him, and I don't think he could read lips. So they ended up passing those back and forth. However, I believe it was fairly futile. I think he didn't understand very much.
All right. If there's somebody else, then we can get that done today. But
Sorry, Your Honor?
I think just confirm that it was nobody, that this was the person and nobody else, because, we can get it done.
Yes, Your Honor. I
As it's done.
sent along the court minutes to my supervisor just as confirmation. If there's another sign language, I'm going to keep an eye out for any future sign language defendants.
All right. All right, let's get going here.
At this time, we're prepared to enter a plea of admission to violation of probation in all three cases, 2019 CF 5332.
This is Laura Roy, the state certified. Ms. Lee Sworn.
Hello?
Hello, could you hear the interpreter?
Your volume is very low.
Apologize, Your Honor. I've informed the AV about it, and they said they addressed it, but
Yeah, I'll call. Let me hang up and call back because I'm like straining to hear you. Okay.
okay, no problem.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jaime Sotomayor, certified federal interpreter, already sworn.
Good morning. This is Judge Bang calling from the BRC. Can you see if you can make a connection with my headsets?
Okay, I'm trying, Your Honor.
Sí.
The interpreter is connected, Your Honor.
And you already been sworn in this morning, correct?
Yes, sir. Jaime Sotomayor, certified federal interpreter, already sworn.
All right. And, sir, can you ask the defendant to greet him and ask him to tell me his name?
Luis Guillermo Colina Rueda.
Luis Guillermo Colina Ruedas.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 657 AW on charge of trespass after warning. Did review the charging affidavit in this case. Did find probable cause for your arrest.
¿Puede repetir la pregunta?
Could you repeat that, sir?
Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 657 AW on charge of trespass after warning. I did find probable cause for your arrest as to that charge. I was going to ask the state of Florida if they had an offer to resolve your case this morning.
Yes, Your Honor, the state did convey an offer of a withhold of adjudication, credit time served, and no return to the 7-Eleven. I did inform defense counsel that he may otherwise qualify for pretrial diversion at a later time.
I did speak with Mr. Colina in the back and conveyed the state's offer, and I believe he wishes to resolve the case today, Your Honor.
Mr. Colina, did you want to take the state's offer of a withhold adjudication of guilt and credit time served in this case?
Sí, yo entré a una propiedad donde me advirtieron que no debía entrar.
Yes, because I did enter a property where I had been warned not to enter.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you're going to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Lo juro.
I do.
All right, sir. Put your hand down. The charge of facing a trespass on property after warning is a first-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine is the maximum penalties. Do you understand that?
Sí, lo entiendo.
Yes, I understand.
Did you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve this case today?
No, yo entré a la propiedad.
No, I did enter the property.
Yeah. Did you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve the case?
No, yo soy culpable.
I'm guilty.
And did you understand by entering a plea of guilty that you don't waive all the rights that are listed on the plea form that's in Spanish in front of you?
Que no lo leí.
I didn't read it.
Right? Do you understand that by entering a plea of guilty, that you don't waive your right to have a trial where the state would have to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt?
No entiendo eso.
I don't understand that.
If you want to resolve your case today, you have to give up certain rights that are guaranteed by our U.S. Constitution and our Florida Constitution, and our legislature has also guaranteed certain other rights. One of the rights that our laws guarantee is for if you have a trial by jury, where the state will have to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand that?
Es decir, que si para resolver el caso hoy tengo que responder algunas preguntas.
In other words, in order to solve the case today, I have to answer some questions.
Yes, you have to answer some questions and affirm that you understand the rights that you're giving up by entering a plea in a criminal case.
Sí, yo voy a responder lo que entienda.
Yes, I will respond to what I can understand.
All right. Well, the first question I've asked, now this is the third time I'm asking, is that you understand you're waiving your right to have a trial in this case where the state will have to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
Pero este no es el juicio.
But isn't this a trial?
No, sir. This is a plea colloquy. If you decide to enter a plea. I want to try this right now. Do you read and understand the Spanish language?
Sí, sí.
Yes, yes.
Right now, I'm going to take you, hold that, please, there's a plea form in your hand. It's in Spanish. I want to have you step back, read the plea form, and then read the front and back. There's a back portion to it, and there's a front portion to it. After you read the plea form, I'll come back and we try to have this conversation again, okay?
Ok, lo voy a leer.
I will read it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Interpreter. We'll be right back with you.
That's okay.
Judge Lewis Force is mental health.
This 2021 MM 452AA. Mr. Force, I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent him.
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
Ms. Davis, has he been screened for mental health pretrial release in the past? In this,
Your Honor, may also be heard as to count 3 on probable cause.
that's an interesting charge. I read it. I read the statute, and it seems to be fairly broad.
The way the officer wrote it, I think perhaps maybe a lot of people could be charged for that during a global pandemic. So I don't know if there's enough PC to charge. The case law I saw, I think, was City of St. Petersburg, and sewage was about as big of a nuisance as I found, but I don't know if the legislature intended.
Yeah, that's why I said the language in the statute is pretty broad. I mean, I think it covers pretty much. I mean, I almost had a thought where like, well, if I intentionally cut myself and then bled somewhere, would that be the same thing? You know, it usually covers more defecation and urination, but I don't think it outlines, it disallows, I'm saying, in the, you know, I'm going to find probable cause for the charges he's facing: ag assault on law enforcement officer, resisting officer without violence, and nuisance injures to the health of the public. We're going to release him on mental health pretrial release on this case and these charges. If he doesn't qualify for mental health pretrial release in each charge, I'm going to set bond in the amount of $50. Or he not return to the scene or location where he was arrested. In a hall. There. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
DeCarlos Hall.
Mr. Hall, you're here in case 2021 MM 6946 AO, uncharged trespass in a structure or conveyance. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Say was there an offer to resolve Mr. Hall's case?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Let me see one thing here. Mr. Hall, do you have somewhere we can get mail?
Yes, sir.
You can be able to provide that address right now?
Yes, sir.
What's that address?
4443 King Cole Boulevard.
All right. Can we get him a change of address form, please? Mr. Brants. Yep. All right, Mr. Hall, I'm going to order that you release your own recognizance, condition not return to the scene of the location, You can provide that address. If you don't respond to the mail, this for your next court hearing. One, you're gonna get a court hearing on your paperwork when you bond out, when you leave the jail. But you're also gonna get information in the mail as well. If you don't respond to any of those 2 court dates, a warrant's gonna be issued for your arrest. You're gonna be arrested for not failing to appear.
So I'm being RR'd?
You're being RR today.
Your Honor, state would ask for the condition of no contact with the defendant.
No, we're getting to that last part. Mr. Hall, wait a second, I'm not done with your conditions. No return to the scene, no contact with victims or witnesses from this case. You need to provide that address so that you can get proper mail. Don't respond to the mail or to the information on your release form, you're gonna get a warrant, all right? One second, tell me your name.
Mitchell Reed Marbe.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 6942 AO on charge of trespass on property after warning. I did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. State, was there an offer to resolve this case?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer conveyed was an adjudication, credit time served, and no return to any of the Walt Disney properties.
Sir, do you want to accept that offer from the state of Florida?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
And you put your hand down. Sir, you're here in case 2021 MM 6962 AO on a charge of trespass on property after warning. That's a first-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve this case today?
No contest.
You understand by airing a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on the plea form that's in front of you.
Yes.
Are you under influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
Yes.
What was that mental health illness?
Depression and anxiety.
Do you take any medications for your depression and anxiety?
Yes.
Those medications help you understand the world around you.
Yes.
Are you suffering from the symptoms of your depression or anxiety today? Outside of being in a jail courtroom?
Just that.
Okay. Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No.
You understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation.
Yes.
I did have an opportunity to view your charging affidavit in this case. I did find a factual basis contained therein. Going to accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of the charge, give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. Court costs in this case and cost of prosecution are $273. Going to give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. I'm not going to take any action on your out on bond DUI case. You have a great day, sir.
Do you want me to still go to the October 15th court date for the DUI?
Yeah, you need to go to your October 15th court date. Otherwise, you're going to get a warrant for your arrest because you're going to miss court.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a great day.
Is he ready? Can we bring back Spanish?
Yeah, if he's ready to go, he's still reading. I can see him from here. He's still reading.
Oh, he's still reading. Okay.
Is he done reading or is he?
Not everything perfect with
Good morning, Your Honor. Jaime Sotomayor again.
All right, good morning. We're back with Mr. Colina. Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Luis Guillermo Colina Rueda.
Luis Guillermo Colina Rueda.
Mr. Colina, you're here in case 2021 MM 657 AW on charge of trespass on property after warning. A few moments ago, we were in the process of trying to get through a plea colloquy. Did you have an opportunity to read and understand the plea form that's in front of you at this moment?
Sí, soy culpable.
Yes, and I'm guilty.
You understand by entering that plea of guilty that you're going to waive the right to have a trial in this matter?
Ah, que me juzguen.
You mean to be judged?
Similarly, you will be judged by a jury of your peers. You understand you're waiving that ability to have that trial occur.
Sí, soy culpable.
Yes, and I'm guilty.
All right. You understand you're waiving your right to have an attorney represent you in this case?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No en este momento.
No, not at this time.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
Es que no sé lo que tengo.
I just don't know what I have.
Have you ever been to a doctor and taken any medicines for your mental health?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you still taking those same mental health medications right now?
Sí, alprazolam. Me diagnosticaron una vez como esquizoafectivo.
Yes, alprazolam, because I was diagnosed one time as schizoaffected.
Your Honor, state asked if
Yeah.
you could set a bond
Yeah,
in this
I am.
case. And
Mr. Colina, the court doesn't feel really comfortable accepting your plea at this moment. Are you still at the Winter Park address?
En Windermere.
Windermere, sorry.
And Windermere.
All right. Let me pull it up again. It says Winter Garden. Are you still at the Central Lake Drive address? Center Lake Drive address?
Sí.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance in this case. When a condition of your release, you're not allowed to return to the place where you're arrested. You understand?
Sí lo entiendo, no escuché la última parte con la condición de que no regrese.
Yes, I do understand, but I didn't hear the last part. The condition is not to return?
Yes, don't go back to where you were arrested.
Ok, sí entiendo.
Okay, I understand.
All right, on your paperwork, when you leave the jail, there's going to be a court date that you're going to have to attend. You need to make sure you're at the courthouse on that court date. You understand?
Sí.
Yes.
If you have any other questions, you need to call the number on the green sheet of paper that's in front of you.
Ok, ¿qué haría en el tribunal otra situación como la que está sucediendo ahora?
So what will we do in court? Is it another situation like what's happening now?
Not right now. You're going to have some opportunity to have more time to speak with your attorney and another opportunity to speak with somebody that also speaks Spanish. They are able to assess whether you're able to enter this plea and whether you're competent to do so. And then you may have to also speak to some other doctors at some other time. All right? Right now, you have a great day.
Sí, ok. Ok, gracias.
Very well, then thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Interpreter.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Gracias.
It's 2021 MM 6958 AO. Going to appoint the public defender to represent Parker Valentin.
What was the reason?
Medical. Are they gonna be available next day or by Monday or tomorrow? You wanna be set up for tomorrow or Monday?
Monday, Your Honor, there is an offer from the.
All right, we'll reset, Perkin Valentin until Monday. Hope we can resolve the case at that point. Morning, sir. Can you tell me your name? Mr. Scott, you're here in case 2021 MM6961 AO on charge of petty theft. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Say was there an offer for Mr. Scott?
No, Your Honor, not at this time. It's enhanceable.
Mr. Scott, I'm going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $1,000, condition of the bond that you not return to the scene of the location, have no contact with any victims or witnesses. I'm also going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You have a great day, sir.
Judge Glenn Welch's behavior.
All right, it's 2021 MM6948 AO. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Wells.
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
Was there going to be an offer in this case?
No, Your Honor.
I did review the probable cause affidavit, did find probable cause for his arrest as to the charges of resisting officer without violence, carrying a concealed weapon, possession of drug paraphernalia, and trespass on property after warning. Going to set bond in count one amount of $250, and the remaining counts be $100 each. Condition not return to the scene of the location, have no contact with any victims or witnesses. And also not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms he has needs to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of his release.
Judge Nelson Clark, bonded.
All right. That's a good one. One, sir, can you tell me your name?
Anderson J.R. Morgan IV.
Mr. Morgan, here in case 2019 MM4271 AO on a failure to appear warrant. Judge signed your warrant in this case, set your bond in the amount of $500, correct?
Yes, Judge.
Your bonds remain at $500 in this case. You had Mr. Bankiewicz representing you. Have you spoken to him lately?
No, I have a question though.
Yes, sir.
I was incarcerated from January the 13th to June 11th of 2021.
Right.
And from April of 2019 to December 19, excuse me, I got it wrong. January 13 of 2020 to June of 2021.
All right, well,
the
this
warrant
saying
came out
August 11th.
first.
No.
I was incarcerated.
The warrant in this case, Mr. Morgan, was issued on August 11th of this year.
August, I know what I'm saying is,
You were arrested last year, you got out sometime this summer, but the warrant
I didn't
came 2 months later. As I said, you're gonna have to talk to Judge Dubois, and maybe you guys can resolve it, but you need to contact Mr. Bankiewicz. I'll call him.
one more question.
Yes, sir.
When was the alleged crime?
Let's see, information in this case alleges that on March 5th of 2019, there was some damage done to some windows or screens by the victim.
I was arrested and I went to court and they closed those cases.
This was a summons case, so I don't.
Yes, this is 2019. I was arrested from April of 2019 to December the 5th of 2019, rearrested January the 13th of 2020, released June the 11th of 2021.
Right.
So I was incarcerated, Your Honor.
Yeah, let me, do you have Mr. Bankiewicz's number?
I have nobody's number.
Can you print the NOA for Mr. Bankiewicz?
Yeah, because I was incarcerated, Your Honor. That's why I was saying.
I was gonna say, you can talk to Mr. Bankiewicz, he can work with you, work to get you in front of Judge Dubois as soon as possible. But I can't change your warrant without speaking to Mr. Judge Dubois first. So he hasn't let me know that he wanted the warrant changed. So you can talk to Judge Bankowitz, talk to Mr. Bankowitz, which is your attorney, your conflict attorney that was assigned to you. I'll give you his phone number. Just give me a moment. Wait, I'm gonna give it to you.
I have it, Your Honor.
I was just gonna print it on the,
Oh, okay.
so you have it in writing. Is this case? No. Okay.
I have to go before that judge in order to get my situation resolved?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And also, there's a victim in the case, so they have the right to be notified about what's going on.
It was a domestic case, and it was closed.
I don't want you to talk too much about the facts of your case. I'm just letting you know about what power I have to do, right, what I can do today for you, and what steps you probably need to take. So, Mr. Brantz, you know.
Yes, Your Honor.
Give us a seat. All right. Down at the bottom of this form I'm going to give you is Mr. Jason Bankowitz's number.
I don't have no way to call him.
Give it to you.
I mean, I'm in.
You're in the route incarcerated, but you have the right to call your attorney. That's a free call.
Okay.
So you can call your phone or call that phone number, get in contact with your attorney, and then speak with him about what's going on with your case, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Linnell Whitaker.
Ms. Whitaker, you're here in case 2021 MM 6726AO on charge of violation of an injunction. Only thing I didn't have was the DR number for this case.
You need it?
Yes, ma'am, please. If I could.
It's 2020 DR 10573-0.
2020 DR 10573. Right. One second, I didn't get a chance to look at. All right, and ma'am, the judge signed your warrants case has found probable cause for your arrest.
I'm trying to figure out, can I have a question?
Hold on, wait. Let me look at the injunction. All right, you have a permanent injunction. All right, ma'am, I'm going to set your bond in this case in amount of $5,000. Condition your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You comply with the injunction in 2020 DR 105730. You're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Can I get a DV no contact order? Ma'am, are you familiar with the stipulations in your injunction?
Yes, I understand, but can I?
No. It's not going to.
I believe she understands the terms of the injunction, Your Honor.
Corrections.
May I approach?
Okay. Ma'am, you got any questions about the stipulations on the no contact order? They're pretty much identical to what's in your injunction.
Yes, I understand.
All right. All right, have a great day. Sorry, one point, public defender represent her if I did.
Judge Capidi is mental health.
Where? Who? Oh, sorry, say it again?
Doris Capidi is mental health.
Okay, sorry. One second. All right, case 2021 MO1130AO. Mr. Kabidi, I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent.
Waive the appearance, Your Honor.
Has he been screened for mental health pretrial release?
Yeah,
He has in the past?
yes.
And no go? All right. Any idea how long he's going to be kind of unstable to come to court?
No, I don't know for sure.
Monday, is it Monday a better day,
Maybe a better day.
Mr. Brands, do you want to reset him for Monday or you want to?
We'll reset for Monday, Your Honor. Or we request a reset, excuse me.
Yeah. Let's reset him for Monday and hopefully Mondays are better days for him.
And for Ronald Paramore, can we just skip over him? They went downstairs to pick him
Yep.
up.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Kabidi is Monday?
Yes. See? No. Judge Gibson. Judge Gibson on Monday and then there'll be me on Tuesday.
Your Honor, may counsel approach?
Sure. All right. All right, Mr. Paramore.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. You are here in case 2021 MO1131AO on charge of open container. Did find probable cause for your arrest. The city of Orlando is offering you a withhold of adjudication of guilt and court costs if you want to resolve your case today. Is that something you're more interested in doing?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
So you're here in that case for open container. That's a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine is the maximum penalties. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Are you under do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve your case today?
I want to plead no contest.
All right. Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on the plea form that's in front of you?
I haven't heard any deal
Well, the deals of withhold adjudication of guilt and court costs. So the question is, do you understand that by entering a plea of no contest, you're gonna waive all the rights outlined on the plea form that's in front of you right there?
Okay, sir, yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No, sir.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Do you understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation?
Yes, sir.
They have opportunity to review your charging affidavit in your case. If they find a factual basis contained therein, I'm going to accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'm going to withhold adjudication of guilt. I'm going to give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. Court costs in this case are $223. I'm going to give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. You have a great day, sir.
You too.
Approach him.
All right, thank you.
Judge Jorge Barrows is mental health.
1 second. All right, 2021 CT 6646AO. Mr. Barrios, going to appoint a public defender to represent him.
Waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Barrios is going to I want to place him on mental health pretrial release in this case. If he doesn't qualify for mental health pretrial release, I'm going to stay his bond in the amount of $500. Addition, no drugs, no alcohol, without a valid prescription. No operated motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. I think it's in 500 or 250. It's a DUI, it's 500, shouldn't it? I'll set it at 500.
And Randy Miller bonded.
Pat Dobbs next.
Yes, sir.
All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Good morning. My name's Jerry Dobbs.
Mr. Dobbs, you're here in case 2021 CT 993AE on charge of driving under the influence. They reviewed your charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to release you on pretrial release in this case. Conditions of your pretrial release that you're not possessing drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're subject to random drug and alcohol testing, and as well as you're not allowed to operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
Thank you very much, sir. For
All right.
doing this. I will take a public.
All right, you have a great day.
Excuse me, defender. I'm sorry.
Sorry, did you have a question or you?
No, I was trying to get my word out. I was choking.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. All right, no problem.
No problem.
All right, have a great day, sir.
All right, thank you for your time.
Judge Daryl Willie is medical.
All right, it's 2021 CT 6647AO, Mr. Willie. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent Mr. Willie.
Your Honor, can we move it to the end of the docket?
All right, we'll try to see if we can get him up. Is he downstairs? That's where he is?
Yes.
All right, we'll see if we can, if he's made his way up by the time we're done here. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
LaVivia Blanding.
Ms. Blanding, you're here in case 2021 CF 9157AO for a violation of conditions of pretrial release. Judge signed your warrant in this case. Set your bonds in count 1 amount of $500, count 2 $100, and count 3 $100. It will stay your bonds as set. I believe the public defender is already appointed to represent you in this case. You have a great day, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, you got the news, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Afternoon, I'm Mitchell Chinapin.
Mr. Chenapin, you're here in case 2021 CF 13015 AO for charge of possession of cannabis and possession of cannabis with intent to sell and deliver. Did review the charging affidavit, did find probable cause. I'm going to release you on mental health, on pretrial release in this case. Condition of your pretrial release, no drugs, alcohol without valid prescription, no associated with known drug dealers or drug users, and you be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. Your pretrial release. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You have a great day, sir.
All I got to say is.
Don't say anything. Everything you see can be used against you in the court of law. So if you have a question, you should ask Mr. Brantz. You have a question?
No.
All right, have a great day. No, pretrial, it's pretrial. Yeah, that's just pretrial. All right. Good afternoon, sir. So, good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Frederick Carrington, sir.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 CF 12558 AO on a charge of aggravated stalking with credible threat. Did find probable, I think probable cause was determined in your case. Get your case pulled up. Hold on a second. Yeah, Judge signed your warrant. This case has already found probable cause for your arrest and state.
Yeah, sure. In regards to the bond, he was seen in front of your honor on 9/17 in reference to 21 CF 11897. That was also an aggravated stalking, I believe. You set bond in that case of $7,500 due to the allegations, which are at the beginning of this arrest affidavit, just showing a clear picture of everything that's gone on to this point. He was released, and then on 9/19, we have the allegations that he's here for today on this second aggravated stalking with a credible threat, which arguably, I don't know why the officer did not charge it, is also a violation of a no contact order, because a no contact order was also in place due to him seeing you on 9/17.
Well, you're telling me this, but are you planning to file a motion of pretrial detention?
No, Your Honor. You set a bond of $7,500 on that previous case.
Yep.
Then 2 days later, he was in contact with her with also pretty disturbing comments to the alleged victim in this case.
Yeah.
The state's just asking for a much higher bond than what you set previously, which was $7,500, given his.
I understand. I mean, I'm going to set bond in this case, but, you guys, there's a tool that
Understood, Your Honor.
you're trying to get me to use that.
I'm not asking that you set no bond. I've emailed the ASA that will have this case to see if they want to. However, I have not received a response.
All
I was
right.
just doing some procedural history.
Yeah. Mr. Cooney, I remember Mr. Cooney. I remember reading his affidavit from the last time. All right, sir, in this case, we're going to set your bond in the amount of $250,000. Condition your bond that you had no contact with the victim. Now return to the scene, now return to any location where she may be. You're going to order that you not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Going to order that you not access the internet or any social media. Going to order that you not possess any device that has access to the internet or social media. We're going to order that the public defender be appointed to represent you in this case. In 2021 CF 11897 AO, went over the no contact order. You told me that you understood what that meant. The court found a probable cause that you committed a new law offense while you were out on release in this case. Is going to revoke that bond or release in that case. Going to set a new bond at $0 in that case. I believe you already had a public defender appointed to represent you in the other matter. Yeah, victim or family, sorry, yeah, victim or family. Was it? No contact with this victim or this victim's family. All right, you have a great day, sir.
Sir.
Your Honor, Daryl Willie, he just arrived. Would you like to see him now? Or
He's here. Well, I have somebody in front of me, so we can address, is this Ms. Dean? And then we'll address Mr. Willie. right, good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Baby Ruth Dean.
Ms. Dean, you're here in case 2020 CF 13739 AO for failure to appear. Judge in that case set your bond amount of $1,000. Your bonds will remain as set. You're also here in case 2021 CF 13007 AO on charge of possession of synthetic cannabis. They reviewed the charging affidavit in that case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in that case amount of $500. Condition of your bond is you're not possessing drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're out on bond in case 2021 CF 3394 AO. Is that case filed? Is still the two charges?
3394. It has been filed, Your Honor.
It has been?
Yes.
Is you charging both possession of controlled substance and possession of MDMA ecstasy, or just one?
Yes, it came in as MDMA, ecstasy. We charge possession of controlled substance and paraphernalia.
All right. In 2021 CF 3394 AO, as a possession of controlled substance, I'm going, and drug paraphernalia, going to revoke the bond set in that case. Going to set bond on count one in that case in the amount of $2,000 and count two in the amount of $1,000. Want to RR her on any other outstanding counts that she may be held on. Going to appoint a public defender to represent her in any case that she's not already represented.
Down to the bar, they kind of make that they can go drinks, shoot parents, they're at the county cop, they have games, type of thing, they can go drink, come on down, yeah, they can come on downtown, yeah, all kinds of fun, and they don't want
Yeah, yes. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Oh, Daryl C. Willie.
Mr. Willie, here in case 2021 CT 6647 AO on charge of driving license suspended. They reviewed the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest, and state you said there was or was not an offer.
There was an offer of an adjudication, credit time served.
Right.
Monday.
Mr. Willie, did you want to accept that offer from the state of Florida?
Just a moment, Your Honor, let me
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
put this on. Your Honor, I believe Mr. Willie would like to resolve the case today.
All right. Is that right, Mr. Willie?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand down, sir. Sir, you're here in case 2021 CT 6647 AO on charge of driving license suspended.
Yes, sir.
That's a second-degree misdemeanor. The maximum penalties are 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve this case today?
No contest.
You understand about entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on the plea form that's in front of you.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that this charge of driving license suspended, a conviction at a later date can be used to enhance your sentencing up to a third-degree felony?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No, sir.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Do you understand about entering this plea if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation?
Yeah.
I did have an opportunity to review your charging affidavit and citation in this case. I did find a factual basis contained therein. I'm going to accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of the charge. I'm going to give you credit for the 2 days that you spend, 1 day that you spend in Orange County Jail with 1 day credit time, sir. Court costs and cost of prosecution in this case of $306. I'm going to give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. I'm not going to take any action on your out-on bond cases, 2021 CF 9746 and 2020 MM 7138 BO.
Just a moment, Your Honor. Never mind, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
All right, sir, have a good day. He has to be fingerprinted, too.
Thank you.
Okay. A victim for a case, or? Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Justin Figueroa.
Mr. Figueroa, you're here in case 2021 CF 13018 AO on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 counts of possession of a weapon or firearm by convicted felon. 1 count of possession of controlled substance with intent to sell and deliver. 1 count of possession of cannabis. 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia. 1 count of trafficking in cocaine at 28 grams or more. 1 count of carrying a concealed firearm. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 counts of possession of a firearm in commission of a felony. State. Now, question I have is, it seems they're charging for every bullet. I'm guessing that's what happened.
Yes, Judge.
And then 2, did you find a weight as far as the cocaine? It said 20 grams or more of cannabis, but then it says large bag of crack, but then tell me. There's one large vacuum sealed bag containing in excess of 20 grams was some recognized as marijuana. Also reckoned there were 2 large bags what appeared to be crack cocaine, but then didn't tell me anything after that.
No, Your Honor, I do not see it. State would just ask for 24 hours.
All right. So that's the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Am I getting it right?
15.
Trafficking, 15. Oh, where were the trafficking charges? What count is that for you? The trafficking count, I'm not gonna find, I'll find probable cause for possession of cocaine, but I'll give the state 24 hours. So that's 893.13 sub 6 sub A? Possession of cocaine? I think sub 6 sub A. Yeah, sub 6 sub A. That's what I found probable cause for, but I'm gonna get the state 24 hours to possibly give us a trafficking amount. I'll reset the case for Monday for that count. But they find probable cause for the remaining counts. Now, all right. So what's count 1 for you? All right. All right. So count 1, I'm going to set bond amount of $5,000. The remaining counts going to set them from 2 through 11, be 150.
2 through.
It's count 12, the possession of controlled substance with intent to sell and deliver.
Yes.
All right, we're going to set a bond $15,000. Possession of cannabis, count 150. Paraphernalia, 100. Carry concealed firearm, 150. And for 1 count of possession of firearm or commission of felony, we want to set it at 150. Want to RR him to the rest of those counts.
18 through 31. Keeping 15 at no bond until Monday?
Yep. And no bond as to we'll see him on Monday for the trafficking charge. No drugs or alcohol without valid prescription. Yeah, 6A for today, and then, but they can always, that's how I found probable cause for at least possession of cocaine. Then they can come up next week with a trafficking amount, then back to the regular charge. All right, Mr. Figueroa, so for one of your trafficking charge, gonna reset you for Monday, gonna see you on, like Judge Gibson's gonna see you on Monday for that charge. I set bonds and all the remaining counts. So you have bonds as to that, but we'll see you back on Monday. I'm appointed public defender to represent you until that happens. So we'll see Monday to get to see if the state has information as to the trafficking amount. All right, have a good day. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Sean Gaines Jr.
Gaines, you're here in case 2021 CF 13011AO on charge of aggravated assault and battery. I did review the charging affidavit in your case. Did find probable cause for your arrest as to those two counts. Going to set your bond in count one in amount of $5,000. Count two, $1,000. You be subject to pretrial release supervision. You have no contact with the victim in this case. You maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you.
All right.
You have a great day, sir.
Sure.
Afternoon, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Latrice Gold.
Let's go. You're here in case 2021 CF 12991AO on a charge of flee and attempt to elude law enforcement. Judge signing warrants in case they find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to release you on pretrial release in this case. Additionally, your pretrial release that you're not operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You have a great day, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good
Yeah, I'm fine.
morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Carlin Remain Harrison, Jr.
Mr. Harrison, you're here in case 2021 CF 13016AO on charge of possession of cannabis, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of cannabis with intent to sell and deliver. Did find probable cause for your arrest as to those charges. Going to release you on pretrial release in this case. Additionally, your pretrial release that you're not possessing any drugs or alcohol without valid prescription. You're subject to random drug testing in this case. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You have a great day, sir.
Judge Ryan Jarrett is behavior.
It's 2021 CF 13013AO. I'm appointing the public defender to represent Mr. Jarrett.
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
Is this a probation out of, in this other case? That's what it is? The 9087 case? Does he have another probation case?
Let me check.
He's not on probation for the 9087 case.
All right. I have a thing that says state probation. Is he on probation? I'm just saying because it says that probation started on September 29th of this
Oh,
year.
yes, he is on probation.
Is it for what case, though? Is it for an Orange County case?
It doesn't, in the DOC screen, it doesn't give me a case number, or it doesn't give me like what charges either. I guess because he just got on probation.
It seems, it says drug offender probation.
I mean,
I don't know.
the case 9087 would be a case that he probably would find himself on drug offender probation.
Your Honor, we haven't even filed on that case yet.
Okay, so that's the case that wasn't
It's
filed
definitely
on.
not that one. He just picked that up 8-2.
Well, I'm appointing public defender to represent Mr. Jarrett. Mr. Brandt, you want to waive his appearance?
We'll waive his appearance, yes, Your Honor.
I'm not seeing anything within Orange County that he's pled to recently that would
Yeah, he's on the,
that would put him on drug offender probation. He recently pled to another grand theft motor vehicle.
I mean, you still can be put on drug offender probation for,
His sentence for that was 90 days OCJ. He had 16 days correct time served, 24 months drug offender probation with $8,000 in restitution. That's case number 21 CF 532 BO.
532.
BO, yes, Your Honor.
Yeah.
It was a grand theft motor vehicle case.
So he played on the 29th. And he's,
I believe he pled on the 9th of September.
so 9th of September, and
And then went on
it's like the day
probation.
he was released would have been, the day he started probation would have been the 29th, and then the 30th, he's arrested for a new charge of grand theft motor vehicle. I did find probable cause for his arrest as said charge as well. I'm going to set his bond in that case amount $2,500. No contact with any victims or witnesses from that case. No drugs, alcohol. He's out on bond in 2021 CF 9087AO. Of course, going to revoke that bond, find a probable cause of a new law offense. Set bond at $0. He's on probation, 2021 CF 532 BO. Of course, going to find an on-view violation of probation based on these new law charges. Going to set his bond at no bond in that case. Going to appoint a public defender to represent him in a new case and in the VOP.
Rodney Jones is medical.
All right, 2020 CF 7757AO. I believe Mr. Jones is already represented by the public defender's office.
Can we move to the end of the docket, Your Honor?
Don't think Mr. Jones, actually, I want to appoint a public defender to represent Mr. Jones. He's not going to come. For other reasons.
Can I be heard on count?
This is a failure to, which one? I'm just dealing with let's deal with the failure to appear first.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so failure to appear, you want to waive his appearance, I think his bond's at no bond, that's to that count.
Yes, Your Honor, we'll wait.
All right. And then let's talk about 2021 CF 13021AO, charges of grand theft, possession of hydrocodone, trespass and occupied structure, burglary of a conveyance while wearing a mask, and burglary, it's already driver while license suspended as a second or subsequent offender.
Your Honor, can I be heard as to count 4?
And count 4 is burglary of conveyance while wearing a mask.
I believe it's the same statute as standard burglary. I don't know if the mask has an enhancement. But in the time of a global pandemic, the mask may have been for health reasons as opposed to various reasons. And then as to the actual burglary, the statute states to commit a felony or to commit a crime therein. And the officer wrote in the affidavit that the crime was eluding of police, fleeing and eluding, which may have already taken place before he entered the curtilage of the apartment. He was asking for help of the owner. So I do see he was charged with trespass as well. That may have been in the apartment complex at large, but I only find PC for trespass in the individual apartment, maybe not burglary. As
The burglary of a conveyance is for the Mustang. It's not for the house. The
Yeah,
trespass is for the house.
it was
The
conveyance.
is for
Yeah,
the
he was.
Mustang.
I see.
It was a chain snatching from a.
Okay, then I rescind my argument.
All right.
It's all burglary, and I
No, it was for the car. It was-
The apartment complex. My apologies, Your Honor.
No problem. Well, I've been waiting for a case since the pandemic started
For mask?
for a mask enhanced opinion from one of our DCAs as to whether the person was trying to, beyond a reasonable doubt, was the person trying to be healthy, or was the person trying to conceal their identity, for the purpose of committing a felony. Haven't got the case yet, so Mr. Brance, I don't know. That's the probable cause determination. There's going to be probable cause determination that he was wearing a mask while committing this burglary of a conveyance. All right. That's the grant. All right, so I'm going to set his bonds, though, as follows. As count one, grant theft motor vehicle, $150. As to the possession of hydrocodone, $150. As a trespass and occupied structure or conveyance, going to be $150. Burglary of a conveyance with wearing a mask is going to be $10,000. And driving license suspended as a subsequent offender, it's going to be $100. Conditions: no return to the scene of the location, no contact with any victims or witnesses, not possessing any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms he has needs to be returned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of his release. May not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. And may not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. One of our appointed public defender represents Mr. Jones in all his cases that he's not already represented. Yes. And that's victims in this case. Since we had that. Yeah.
John Mathis's behavior.
All right, this is 2021 CF 13019 AO. Mr. Mathis is going to appoint a public defender to represent him.
Waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Mathis is here on a charge of driving license suspense a third subsequent offender, driving under influence, and refusal to submit to a DUI or breath test after arrest. Court found probable cause for his arrest as to those charges after reviewing the citation and charging affidavits. Going to set bond in count one, bond $2,500, count two, 100, count three, 100. Oh, is it two cases? Hold on a second. That's something weird. Yeah. That was one case, that's right. He's out on bond for another DUI and a driver license suspended case, 2021 CT 5487, 2021 CT 5488. Court found probable cause to commit, they committed the same offenses that he's out on bond for. The court's going to revoke those bonds in each one of those cases and set a new bond at $0. I missed? That's what I'm saying. I was looking. The only thing I had with Matthews. No, I have Matthews right now. Matthews is next. It was Mathis and then Mr. Matthews, correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Matthews in front of me. All right. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Marlon Matthews.
Mr. Matthews, you're here in case 2020 CT 3739 AO on a charge of failure to appear. Bond in that case is $100. Say we try to resolve that case.
On the duelist case, Your Honor?
Well, it's a no valid, and then there's another duelist, 2020 CT 3738 AO. It's the duelist case, and I think bond's $1,000, and I failure to appear.
That's the only one I have, Your Honor. 1 second.
It was 3739 and 3738. Which kind of makes me feel like they wrote a citation for both at the same time.
It would just be an adjudication, correct time served on both.
All right. don't think you can do both. I think you're gonna have a double jeopardy issue as to,
You said it was 3738 and 3739?
yeah, there are sequential case numbers, so makes you feel like the law enforcement doubled up by writing them for the highest offense and then writing them for a lesser included offense.
State will null pros 3739 in exchange for a plea on 3738 of an adjudication.
Mr. Matthews, Mr. Branch, the public defender's office represent Mr. Matthews in those cases. What you want to do with those cases?
I did speak with our client. Just allow me a moment to work that up.
Yeah.
I believe you might also have 3740.
40, yeah, let me see, what's 3740? Is the number of the vehicle registration, is he pleading to that too?
I will look if I can have one, Your Honor. So it'd be an adjudication on 40 and 38 and a null pros on 39.
Yeah. Do you have one? No, it's all right, Mr. Matthews, I'll have you step back while Mr. Brands gets your paperwork together.
I'm fine.
You ready to go, or?
Yeah, if you want to take it?
All right, so Mr. Matthews, I'm going to explain it to you like this. All right, look, you got 3 cases as far as your traffic cases. You have a felony case in 2020 CF 6698. Bond in that case for failure to appear is no bond. Can't do anything about that case today. As your other traffic cases, we're looking to resolve those cases. She's taking the 3 cases, making them 2 cases. The charges are driver license suspended and no motor vehicle registration. She offers our adjudication of guilt in both cases. There's court costs in those cases and cost of prosecution. Your public defender has applications for fee and as well as their money for their assistance that the statute provides for. Did you want to accept those offers from the state of Florida?
Yes, sir.
All right, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You put your hand down. Sir, in case 2020 CT 3738 AO, you're charged with driver license suspended. In case 2020 CF 3740, you're charged with no motor vehicle registration. Both of those cases are second-degree misdemeanors. Both of those cases are punishable up to 60 days in the county jail each and a $500 fine each. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Brands, what plea you want to enter on behalf of your client as to those 2 cases?
No contest, Your Honor.
Mr. Matthews, you understand by entering a plea with no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on that plea form that's in front of you.
Yes, sir.
You also, that in the 3738 case, an adjudication for driver license suspended can be used at a later date to enhance your sentencing up to a 3rd-degree felony.
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No, sir.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you into this plea?
Yes, sir.
Yes, by entering this plea, it could subject your, entering this plea could subject you to deportation if you're not a United States citizen. I apologize. If you're not a United States citizen, entering of a criminal plea could subject you to deportation. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. The party stipulate to a factual basis.
Yes, Your Honor.
For the purposes of the plea, yes, Your Honor.
All right, as well, I've had the opportunity to review both court files as well as the citations. I did find a factual basis contained therein. I'm going to accept your plea of no contest in each one of these cases. I find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'm going to start my sentencing with 3738 AO. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty as to that charge. Give you credit for the 5 days that you spent in Orange County Jail with 5 days credit time served. Court cost of prosecution in that case of $306. Is a $50 public defender application fee and a $50 public defender lien in that case. As to 3740, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty as to that charge as well. Give you credit for the 5 days that you spend in Orange County Jail to run concurrent with 3738. Say you imposing court costs. You asking for court costs in that case as well?
Yes,
cost of
Your Honor,
prosecution?
they're different cases.
All right, so give me $306 in court costs in that case, $50 lien, no application fee. So total, sorry.
I'm sorry. State as an announcement as to 20 CT 3739, the no valid state announces a null pros.
All right. Going to make combine both these cases for payment. Going to give you 3 years from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in each one of these cases. Now, as like I said, as your felony case, it's a failure to appear, you gotta go in front of that judge to deal with that case. But as your other traffic cases, they're all closed. All right?
Sir.
You have a great day, sir.
Too.
Your Honor, can I just step in real quick and ask for a previous defendant, Louise Force,
Yes.
where he had assault on LEO, resisting and nuisance injuries?
I think we did mental health pretrial release on him.
Okay, can we get it? Because to say said there was not mental health PTR on there.
Yeah, so it's,
Louise
Louise,
Force,
Yeah.
FORCE, misdemeanor pleable.
yeah, I did mental health pretrial release, and then I think I did
$50
$50 on if he didn't qualify for each one of his bonds.
That's what she said.
Yeah, yeah, I ordered mental health pretrial release for him.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Good morning, yes, sir. Can you tell me your name? Well, sorry, good afternoon now. Tell me your name.
Jesse Morris.
So Morris, you're here in case 2021 CF 12994 AO on charges of burglary, conveyance, and grand theft. Did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find probable cause for your arrest. State is open case, he's in your pretrial diversion program.
One 14493.
While she's looking that up, as your burglary conveyance case, gonna stay your bond in that case around $3,500 and $150 is the count to your grand theft case. No contact between victims or witnesses, no return to the scene of the location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release.
Your Honor, I don't see anything about PTD.
I just had somebody said on here PTD.
No, Your Honor.
So what's going on with that case from 2020?
He has, looks like he had pretrial and trial. We were supposed to have pretrial on 8/4. Since we're past that, the next hearing I see is a status hearing with Judge Wilson on February 9th.
It said on August 4th of 2021, he's in pretrial diversion. In the clerk's screen.
All right, we'll do this. This is an unrelated charge, so I'm not going to take any action right now. But, Mr. Morris, you may get a warrant from Judge Wilson taking action on your case because you got probable cause for a new law offense. Yeah, we're good at the boxes checked for force.
Judge Chadwick Purvis is mental health.
All right, this is 2021 CF 13014AO. And he has a Polk County case, looks like 2012 CF 4399. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent Mr. Purvis.
With the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, as to our case, 21 CF 13014, found probable cause, bonds $5,000. No weapons, no firearms. Any weapons or firearms he has needs to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of his release. He has a Polk County violation of probation case. A bond in that case is no bond. He's a violent felony offender, special concerns, not entitled to release or bail or bond on that case until his violation of probation is completed. In Porter. All right. Morning, sir. Sorry, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Porter Jeffrey.
Mr. Porter, you're here in 2020 CF 9406 AO for a sex offender failure to register. Judge signed your warrant. This case found probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond amount of $3,500. Conditioning your bond that you have 48 hours from the time you're released from bail from the Orange County Jail to report to the sheriff's office as a violent sexual predator or sexual offender. You have a great day, sir. Sorry, I'm appointed public defender to represent you. Do have a great day. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name? Mr. Rivera, you're here in case 2020 CF 3655 AO on a charge of violation of conditional pretrial release. Judge in that case signing your warrant, set your bond at no bond. I believe you already have an attorney representing you in that case. You have a great day, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Audley Roberto.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 CF 127160 on a charge of fleeing to salute law enforcement license sirens activated. Judge signed your warrant in this case, found probable cause for your arrest as to this case. Going to set your bond in this case amount of $5,000. Addition that you're not operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. You're out on bond in case 2021 CF 3956 GO. Court found probable cause committed a new law offense while you're out on bond. In that case, it's going to revoke that bond, set a new bond at $0. Going to appoint a public defender to represent you in their new case. You have a great day, sir.
Can I ask what probable cause they found on this new case? Because I don't even know what they're talking about. Like, I've never driven that car. I have a whole different car. I heard it was a Chevy Malibu. I have a white BMW.
1 second. Oh, no. All right, I was looking for a 2006 white Impala. Reginald
Burjo. That's my mom's.
Well, unless you look strikingly similar to your mom, they're saying it was you driving. I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm not not arbiter of the facts right now. So you can get in front of your division judge and work with your public defender and maybe able to convince the state to not move forward with the case.
Is it any way that you can stay on my stand on my original bond?
Not based on that case, the charges you're facing in that case. I'm not willing to do it. So Judge Wooten may be open to that scenario. Just not based on that, just truly based on the facts of the charges and the facts of your current elder case.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I literally found out about this charge yesterday, and they told me that it was a flea and looting. So I have no idea where it's come from. But when I did talk on the phone, they told me what car it was, and I've never driven that car in my life.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Felix Bartolo Salazar III.
Mr. Salazar, are you here in case 2021 CF 5742AO for failure to appear? Judge in that case set your bond in count 1, 5,000, count 2, 2,000.
100?
Salazar?
It should be 200, second charge.
Sorry.
Sorry.
sorry, 5,200. I apologize. 5,000 count 1, $200 count 2. What did I say? 1,000? No, 5,200. I apologize.
Ms. Davis, are there any other holds for this client?
No.
No. I'm aware of. All right. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Davis.
I won't point the public defender to represent Mr. Salazar because I don't like his appointed. All right. Morning, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
James Smith.
Mr. Smith, you here in case 2021 CF 123280 on a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and battery. Did review the charging affidavit in your case, did find.
I believe it was a warrant.
No, sorry, yeah, it was a warrant. Did the judge sign your warrant, did find probable cause for your arrest.
Your Honor, state, we just like to bring your attention to prior
Is
battery history and given the allegation that he would return and shoot up the place. Yes.
All right. All right, sir, in count 1, going to set your bond in the amount of $5,000. Count 2, 1,000. Condition of the bond that you have no contact with the victims or witnesses in this case, that you not possess any weapons or firearms. Weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Not allowed to return to the scene of the location where the incident happened. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir.
All right.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Robert Spencer, sir.
Mr. Spencer, you're here in case 2021 CF 130120 on charge of possession of cocaine and possession of MDMA ecstasy. Did review the charging affidavit, did find a factual basis, probable cause for your arrest. Bond count 1, 1,000, count 2, 150. Condition of bond, no drugs or alcohol without valid prescription. Random drug testing. Not going to take any action right now on your 2021 CF 8225AO case. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you. You have a great day.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Christian.
I can't hear you.
Christian.
What's your full name?
Christian Valdez.
Mr. Valdez, you're here in case 2021 CF 12981 AO on charges of possession of cocaine with intent to sell and deliver with a firearm, battery on a law enforcement officer, battery on a uniformed security guard, resisting officer with violence, possession of a firearm, and commission of a felony, resisting officer without violence, and you have a separate city ordinance violation for possession of an open container in 2021 MO 1132 AO. All right, so Mr. Valdez, I did find probable cause for your arrest as to the charges. In your city ordinance case, you could resolve that if you would like. It's a withhold adjudication of guilt and court costs. Actually, not going to accept the plea as to that. Yeah, I'm not going to entertain that. As a 2021 CF 12981 AO, going to set your bond $15,000, count 1, 150 count 2, 150 count 3, 150 count 4, 150 count 5, and 100 and count 6. In your MO case, 2020 MO 1132 AO, going to set bond in that case amount of $500. Condition of your bonds in all your cases: no drugs, alcohol without valid prescription. You be subject to random drug testing in each one of these cases, as well as you're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in each case. You have a great day, sir. Also, no return to the scene of the location.
Just to be clear, it was 15,000 and 150 on all the subsequent?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Jackie Wallace.
Mr. Wallace, you're here in case 2021 CF 12984 AO on charge of possession of MDMA or ecstasy, possession of providing false information to law enforcement, and trespass and structure or conveyance. Viewed the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set bond in count 1 in amount of $1,000, count 2, 100, count 3, 100. Condition of bond: no drugs or alcohol without valid prescription. Be subject to random drug testing. No return to the scene of the location. Going to appoint a public defender to represent you. You have a great day. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Christopher White.
Mr. White, you're here in 2019 CF 14486 AO for failure to appear. Bonds $2,000. Bonds remain at $2,000. I believe you already had a public defender representing you, so have a great day, sir.
Judge Robert Williamson reviewed.
This 2021 CF 13008 AO. Mr. Williamson, going to appoint a public defender to represent him.
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
Did find probable cause for his charges of possession of ammunition of convicted felon, by convicted felon in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, counts 1 through 6, and possession of a weapon by convicted felon, count 7. Counts 1 through 6, bonds are 150, count 7, bonds 5,000. Possession, no weapons, cannot possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms he has needs to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of his release. I don't know, that's how I had it on mine, so
Okay, so
I did the weapon, not the ammunition.
So this count is 5,000 and this one is reduced to 150.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Yes, sir. Patrick Wonder.
Mr. Wonder, you're here in case 2021 MM 5332 AO for failure to appear. Bond in that case is $100. You're also arrested in 2021 CF 13017 AO for introduction of contraband to the county detention facility and possession of cocaine. Reviewed the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest as to that charge. Bond in count 1 is $1,000, count 2, 150. Addition of the bond: no drugs or alcohol without valid prescription. You subject to random drug testing in that case. And this MOMM case, what is this? All right, State, do you have an offer to resolve the misdemeanor case? Please, a solicitation without a permit.
Yeah, sure, I'm checking to see what was previously conveyed. Or it'd just be an adjudication, correct time, sir?
All right. All right, Mr. Wonder, as to your new case, we're going to appoint a public defender to represent you. As to your other case, you had the failure to appear. All state is offering you an adjudication of guilt, credit time served to resolve that case. Is that something you want to do today?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Or you put your hand down. Sir, that charge in 2021 MM 5332 is a solicitation without a permit. Maximum penalties for that charge are 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve that case today?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand about entering a plea of no contest that you're going to waive your right to have a trial in this matter?
Yes, sir.
You understand you're waiving the right to have an attorney represent you at that trial?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, and medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
No, sir.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
You understand about entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation.
Yes, sir.
I had the opportunity to review your court file in this case, so I did find a factual basis contained therein. I'm going to accept your plea of no contest, find your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. Going to adjudicate you guilty of the charge, give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in the Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. Court costs and costs of prosecution in this case are $273. Give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. You have a great day, sir.
Yes, sir.
Were we appointed in the MO case?
Yes, no.
No,
No, you were appointed in the CF case. But you weren't appointed in the misdemeanor case, no.
Misdemeanor, it's not a municipal ordinance.
All right. Does anybody have anything else before we adjourn for today?
No, Your Honor.
None from the defense, Your Honor.
Ms. Davis. To say. Denise. Y'all confirm that, other than that. Other than that, we're good? Yes. All right. Everybody have a great weekend.